So if you want to phase him out, you have to sell him somewhere and you have to recoup the money. And we all know the position that Barcelona are in. I mean, they flew to the United States to play Club America and lost that too, by the way. Why? Because they need the money. So with Robert, it's a tricky situation because first of all, you want to get him right. The number one job of Xavi in Barcelona is, before they think of anything else, is to make sure that Robert Lewandowski gets back to scoring ways, because he knows how to do that. He really knows, and he's gonna do it once he tastes it. Once you get a couple wins, and Robert Lewandowski is part of that, where he participates in scoring, things and that confidence will come back, and that's the way. Now, I mean, obviously he's 36 years old, so I get what you're saying, but this shouldn't be done in a way where Robert Lewandowski's head goes even lower. You have to build him up as much as you can because you want him to help you win La Liga or win the Champions League or be in the conversation even. That's your number one job. And in the meantime, you can do both, right? So you bring him up, everybody, Robert's happy, Barcelona are happy. And of course, you have to be thinking now, okay, what do we do a year from now? Do we find a way? Now he's at his best, he's scoring goals. Can we possibly recoup some money for him? Because that time was always going to come.
But we are at the halfway point of La Liga's season, Janusz. We've seen the run that he's been on so far. So they're 7 points behind the top two of Real Madrid and Girona right now. Could have been worse, but it isn't. It is 7 points right now. With the way things do go in football, a whole half season to go, you don't want to make too many assumptions, but it's quite a sizable drop-off from those top two who are leading La Liga. And then it turns attentions to the Super Cup, which is coming up this week. And on Thursday, Barcelona will be in action against Barcelona. Has it put an even bigger emphasis on the importance of this competition for this side, who really do need something right now?
I mean, it's Barcelona. I don't know how much the Copa. Look, I mean, I don't want to diminish the importance of winning a title. And, players love it. It doesn't matter what it is. As you build up and you go through the stages like you do right now against small opposition, you kind of don't look at that. But at the end of the day, players love celebrating trophies. They love, what happens afterwards and the fans and the celebration. It doesn't really matter what it is. So what I'm going to say is it's not going to hurt them, but certainly Barcelona are not built, to be celebrating only winning Copa del Rey. So I don't know. I think number one thing is to steady the ship right now, see if they can stay within touch of Real Madrid and Girona, mostly Real Madrid, I think, if we're honest. To see if they can make a push towards the end, right? I mean, you want to be in that situation where in April, May, you kind of within a couple of points and maybe you have a shot at that. And obviously Champions League, that's the priority right there, because it seems to me that sometimes it's easier to win that competition than anything else if things go right your way.
Who are your Barca superstars right now? Because obviously you'd think of Robert Lewandowski, but you think of Pedri, you think of Xavi, Pedri is continually getting injured and coming back in and is immensely talented. Xavi, who's going to be a big miss, who even among this really difficult season that by their standards Barcelona have been having, then gets badly injured and has gone as well. Who are the big stars now? Because if you look across at Real Madrid, and Barcelona fans must be doing this, you're looking at the signings that are coming in. You're looking at the two Brazilians that they've got in Vini and Rodrigo. You're looking at how Jude Bellingham's doing. Arda Güler's just coming back now from injury after getting signed. Endrick's coming in. There's all these big name signings, and now it just seems to be only a matter of time until it is Mbappe. Is there a thought that maybe a big Galactico, sorry that it's Barcelona and I'm using this word, style signing might help Barcelona to give them that boost?
Yeah, but how and when and with which money? Yours, mine? I mean, they're nowhere near Real Madrid, right? When it comes to that, because you can rattle off 7, 8, or 9. I mean, starting 11. Where with Barcelona at this moment on current form, I mean, the only players that I could even consider being the superstar at this moment, I mean, Frankie de Jong looks the part to me, and Ter Stegen, who's out actually and probably back in a couple of weeks. I think I read this morning, maybe a little bit sooner than they expected. Anybody else is well below their best, and even when they're at their best, it's still hard to compare them to some of the players with Real Madrid, right? I mean, I would include Robert Lewandowski at his best. He would be there. So maybe 2 or 3 players, as I said. And then Real Madrid could look at the players they have and said, okay, those 3 are great, but we have as good, if not better. So that's the reality of this. And I don't know how that's going to change. It's not going to change in January. Obviously, they're making a push with the stadium, which in a way, I get it, because better and nicer stadium is going to bring more money. But at this particular time for Barcelona, I mean, it's just probably the worst time where they have to kind of deal with that because of the financial situation. So I don't see that happening. You just hope that the rebuild is going to take a little bit less. Some of these young players that have been rushed into senior football, because let's be honest, that's what's happening, right? And we're talking about Pedri, we're talking about Gavi, we've talked about Ansu Fati in the past.
Since what, 16 years old?
Right. We're talking about Yamal right now. This is not the way it's supposed to be done. It's supposed to be done that these players are coming up, you know, at the time where maybe, I don't know, Busquets has been there a little bit longer, Alba, where they're, you know, I mean, they're counting up. Barcelona are basically counting on 16, 17, 18-year-olds to win them trophy against the likes of Real Madrid, who have incredible players in each position. So is it possible? Of course, it's Barcelona, and you know, I'll never say never, but I think it's they are doing to some of these young players that they have an unbelievable disservice. And you're just hoping that at some stage, you know, when they come back from injuries, they're going to say, okay, let's cut our losses here. Let's not do it at all costs. Let's put an arm around the Yamals and Pedris and Gavis, even if it means, you know, I don't want to say losing a game, but, you know, don't play them just because you have to, or you think you have to. Give them time, because they've been rushed. They need to be developed. And I think in time, you know, you can have the next, you know, Xavis and Iniestas and Messi, I suppose.
Okay, so just to finally end this topic and end this segment altogether today, it's a two-part question. How do you see the season panning out for Barcelona, and will Xavi last the season?
Oh, yeah, I worry for Xavi. I don't know, with everything that's going on, if he's got the experience and know-how how to deal with all of that. And that's not always going against him, right? I mean, he's still a young manager. I think many, including myself, were calling for him because he understands Barcelona. He's a legend. And I thought just the understanding of the environment within the club, within the city and outside, if you will, having won everything in his life as a player, would be helpful. But now I'm starting to wonder. This rebuild and all the issues, financial issues that are happening, I just don't know if this didn't come too early in his career as a manager. So I worry about him. I'm not sure if he's going to last. I think Champions League is going to be a great indication of that, how far he takes them there, because that's one thing that would plaster over, I suppose, any other worries if they went very, very deep in that situation. I think if he stays within the top four, that's important, but I worry about it. So yeah, I mean, you're hoping for the best with Barcelona, because it seems bleak to me the way Barcelona are playing. I mean, they're really squeaking out wins against even the lowest opposition in Copa del Rey and even in La Liga. I mean, the one good thing, I don't know if it's luck or know-how, you know, they know how to win or get points late in games. So I suppose there's that.
Yeah, so there are some positives there. I am sure this will not be the last we'll be talking about Barcelona on ESPN Live this season. It probably won't be too long until we do so again. Thanks so much for being with us for the latest edition. We'll see you next time.